Wild's brain is in pretzels right now because when he's yelling about people disrespecting Jalen Hurts, he's really talking about me.
Well,
and now
like
that he sees I have him in the top 10 moving up
you didn't
for the
before
year.
I said that. Amazing job by our graphics team.
This was already there.
It's like betting live games. Quickly move them up the mountain.
Third row.
I just feel like, and I wrote this on Twitter, it got quite the response. And as you know, I'm easily swayed. A few compliments, I'm like, oh, am I the Jalen Hurts defender? Am I the Jalen Hurts defender all of a sudden? I guess so. I've been nominated.
Is it?
All right, so Jaden's crushing. We get it. Jaden's doing amazing. He played indoors against that Lions defense, but he's doing great. Josh Allen, we literally had a question on Monday's show that we took out of the rundown, which was, did Josh Allen prove he's the MVP? And I was like, why? Because he had 150-something yards?
Total.
Patrick Mahomes, again, I think he had 177 yards passing.
Yep.
But the narrative around Mahomes is he does what he has to. You know, he has a winner's mentality. Whatever needs to be done.
Oh, so you are going to be
it.
the Jalen Hurts guy here.
And then Jalen Hurts, you would think that his stat line would be totally divorced from Josh and Patrick Mahomes. Like, no, it's just right in the same neighborhood. But everyone's like, the question we were going to ask was like, is Josh Allen the MVP? Is Mahomes the GOAT? And is Jalen Hurts the weak link?
This guy,
like, huh?
This guy.
They're all doing the same thing. They're not turning the ball over. They're playing within the system. They're not making any mistakes.
Wild.
They're providing leadership. Storming.
Okay.
Oh, it's storming.
Hold on.
Jalen Hurts.
Before we do the real
He's
thing.
making some sense, though.
Except he is arguing with people not at this desk.
Well, Dusty was putting
you're arguing with Dusty for putting a question in the rundown we didn't do. TV shows that you hate.
It's indicative of a larger problem.
Twitter. None of us here have crushed Jalen for his Game 2 performance.
But no one's nice to him. No one's nice to him.
I'm an Eagles guy.
Buddy.
But
Oh, sweet.
If you Google first things first compliments about Jalen Hurts, it's only my picture.
The Wilds.
And it's only from today. From last segment.
In the last 30 seconds.
Minute. Just saying, he's flying under the radar. He went in there and said, all I care about is winning. And it's like, man, he's not doing enough. Josh is not doing anything either. He's winning. It's just, you would think that he's throwing for 30 yards.
Wait a second.
And Josh is like,
hold on. Gosh darn it, man. This isn't what we were supposed to be doing here.
I told you I had a full screen.
None of us killed Jalen Hurts for his Game 2 performance. Game 1, his star wide receiver shined the light on him by reading on the sideline is what happened. Game 2, I even said he should have had a better stat line, but that same star wide receiver dropped the ball. And yesterday when we talked Eagles, the only criticism was of Nick Sirianni, who you then also caped up for. It was like he's better than Sean McVay somehow. And then, again, Gianna, make it, curate Wild's Twitter mentions better, please. Put a filter on it or something, because you're like the worst juror imaginable. Whoever gets to give the final closing statement, you're going to be like, they convinced me. Whatever the last thing you read online.
No, you know what it is?
You could own an NFL team.
Yeah. No, I'm the mayor of fair, and I don't like people getting too complimented, and I don't like people getting too...
But none of us have taken a shot at Jalen Hurts.
The world has. The world has. The world has, and I'm here to defend the guy.
Somebody invite Wilds on a podcast.
$1 million worth of game.
My God.
I'm just saying.
Okay, let's talk about this because we know that they have absolutely questioned and ripped Jalen Hurts every step of the way. Just because you took one day off, that doesn't excuse any. Like they were asking, is Jalen Hurts the weak link? They did say that Jalen Hurts will be the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles don't win or don't make a Super Bowl or don't win the Super Bowl. All of that. They question his ability to throw the ball. Like let's not have revisionist history here. Like, are we serious right now? We know without a shadow of a doubt they've been criticizing Jalen Hurts. Without a shadow of a doubt. And yeah, I mean, there's been so many talks about Josh Allen playing great, Mahomes playing great, doing exactly what they need. Jay Daniels obviously has the numbers and the highlights probably more than anything, but not about Jalen Hurts. They even talked about Josh Allen's evolution of his game, how he's shown maturity, and how, he wanted to kind of give the ball up when he kind of got held up, but he decided to keep it, and how he's grown and evolved. And like, well, what about Jalen Hurts taking care of the ball and not turning it over? So sometimes it's not just what you say, it's what you don't say. Now, to be fair, I mean, I see a lot of Eagles fans kind of talking about like, oh, the game that Mahomes had and the game that that Josh Allen had, and compare that to Mahomes. And there is a difference. There is a difference because that you can't just compare the box score. You can't just compare the total yards and this or that, because they all had to do different things for their teams in different moments. I mean, Jalen Hurts had to rip off a huge run, which really opened up the game and opened up the field for everyone else involved in a snowstorm. Patrick Mahomes made a couple nice plays, but like also, just as much as Jalen Hurts was able to benefit from Saquon Barkley ripping off a run, Patrick Mahomes was able to benefit from throwing to Travis Kelce and have him, have like 60 plus yards after catch. Josh Allen was able to kind of take advantage of a bunch of turnovers from Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So it's just like, you can't just compare total yards per game, touchdown to interception ratio. Like, it's not apples to oranges here. There was maybe a couple missed throws that you could say that Jalen Hurts missed that maybe Josh Allen didn't or wouldn't have. Like, it's too hard to necessarily compare in that regard and just be like, well, what's the difference between this 182-yard game and that 150-yard game? Why does one quarterback get praised while the other doesn't? And then the other problem that Jalen Hurts has going against him is that the Eagles roster is stacked. That the Eagles roster is absolutely stacked, and I don't think an Eagles fan can reject that, because that's part of the reason why you think the Philadelphia Eagles are so special, because of AJ, because of Devontae, because of Saquon, because of that O-line, right? And if you didn't think that team was that stacked, then you wouldn't think that they were better than the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Washington Commanders. I think the Philadelphia Eagles fan base are the only fan base that I see right now that currently isn't saying Jalen Hurts is what makes that team that they elevate it, and that he's the reason for their greatness. I think the Philadelphia Eagles fans accept and acknowledge and say it with pride, yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles are a great team because of everyone involved, not just because of one single player. And so Jalen Hurts now doesn't get enough credit for that, just like we saw plenty of other quarterbacks not get credit when they were on a great team, when they were on a stacked team. And so, like I told those fan bases, and I'll say it to the Philadelphia Eagles fan base, like, it's a great problem to have. It's because, yeah, we got a running back that rushed for over 200 yards, and you don't. Yeah, we got an amazing O-line, and you don't. Yeah, we got an amazing defense, and you don't. Yeah, we got A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Dallas Goedert, and you don't. So, yeah, you think my quarterback is not that special? Fine. You can't see what he offers this team and the benefits that he gives this team? Fine. Keep being blind. We're going to keep winning. So it's a great problem to have in a lot of ways. But again, let's not pretend like there hasn't been a non-stop, constant conversation about Jalen Hurts' inadequacies. Put those in quotes. What he can't do. It's just been constant for the last 2 years. The things that he can't do. He had 1 year where people just pretty much universally praised him in 22. And then in 23, it was just negative. And then even this year, negative. He can't turn the ball over. He turns the ball over. When then he stopped turning the ball over. And they're like, well, he can't throw. And it's like, yes, he does. He's been throwing. He's like top 10 in passer rating, in completion percentage, at the bottom in terms of the lowest amount of interceptions, and he's an elite runner. He's like 0.1 right under Lamar Jackson with running according to PFF. Right? I mean, he executes the offense perfectly. He is a major foundational component of this Philadelphia Eagles team. People want to talk about other players being better, and of course Josh Allen and Mahomes, those are separate categories, and Jayden Daniels is a rookie, so it's a little bit different. But like the Daks and the Bakers of the world, it's like they're not executing the offense at this high level. They're not turning the ball over at this level, at this rate. This is why I keep showing this quote, because I think it's awesome and so spot on. This was after Jalen Hurts was directly responsible for having Saquon rip off that touchdown run. So again, just to start off the game alone, because of Jalen Hurts, 14 points just like that. That's well, I guess technically 13 because of the missed extra point. Don't judge a QB by passing stats. Judge them by their ability to operate the offense. I wish there was a stat for checking into an effective play. Jalen Hurts has evolved from that part of his game just insane amounts. I remember years ago, back when Dak Prescott was real young, like 16, 17, whatever it was. And you could see, because he had been playing for years. So it wasn't back then. So it was after he played for a few years. And you could see him running the offense. Now, I don't think he runs the offense as well as Jalen Hurts does. But you could see that. And this was, I think maybe it was like Jalen Hurts' like rookie year. And you can see, you can see Dak like really, like he's running the offense. Like he is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And you could see it. And then you compare that to like maybe like a Jalen. You're like, Jalen just kind of looks like he's there. He's just like part of the team. Because he was a rookie. He was young. He was like his first or second or third or whatever game. Now you can see what Jalen Hurts does. Because people still make stuff of, Jalen Hurts can't read a defense. I mean, they said the same thing about Jayden Daniels too. They're, you can't read a defense. He can't do this. He can't do that. And it's like people just constantly want to talk about all the things that they think Jalen Hurts can't do rather than the things that he can do. And again, I'm not out here telling you that I'm going to take Josh Allen over Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes over Jalen Hurts. I'm not making that argument. I'm really not. But there is still such an imbalance with the praise and the criticism. And you can't criticize Jalen Hurts all this time. And then when he plays well, and you can't now just be like, I didn't criticize him after the Rams game. And it's like, did you praise him either, though? Did you compliment him? Did you talk positive? Because prior you talked all negative. Like Nick himself against the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I did the clip. He said he played awful. And I cut together another clip with Dan Orlovsky and showed, I did it all. I put in the work to be like, no, that's not true. So that's where that imbalance comes from. But to now just act like Wilds is so off base that no one at this table said anything negative. Okay. Well, he just didn't say anything negative on Monday. And it's like, okay, great. We had one day where he didn't say something directly negative about Jalen Hurts. Okay. Success, guys. Victories. We did it. High fives all around. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts? Nick finally making him a top 9 quarterback, I guess. Top 9 quarterback. Still has Baker ahead of him, though. And him, Wilds calling everyone out for the either the heat or the lack of praise of Jalen Hurts just this postseason alone. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.